Okay, very good. So here we are, Mahākassapattheravatthu. So that's not the name of a sutta, but it's the name of a chapter of the Mahaparinibbāna Sutta. If you look at, which is the longest sutta in the Digha Nikaya. So if you look it up in the link, the PDF has a link on Sutta Central, for example, then you'll see it's towards the end. So the Buddha at this point, you can see that he's already entered Parinibbāna, and now Mahākassapa is coming closer to Kusinārā, and this is the scene. Pāva was the town he was walking from, and he was going towards Kusinārā, and now this is what happens. With we can read the first line, 2 lines. Yeah, maybe Ajahn Gambhīra, you can read the first line.
I'll start until Vikusati.
Yeah, that's right.
Hīnakūpana samayena āyasama Mahākassapo pālāya Kusinārānam Atthānamakkapatipanno hoti mahata Vikusangena satyam panchamattēhi Vikusatehi. So here, Hīnakūpana samayena, this is the, and then at that time, this is the idiom. Samayena is an instrument also where it's basically saying like with that time. Like we say at that time, but they say by that time or with that time. Samayena, at that time, the Venerable Mahākassapa Pāvāya Kusinārā. So from Pāva to Kusinārā he is going. So Pāvāya here is ablative.
Yeah.
It's ablative from or the origin. Kusinārā is an accusative. So from Pāva to Kusinārā. Atthāna Magga Patipanno. So stage by stage. Or how do you, long road?
Yeah, Adhana Magga is sort of a common phrase in the sutta. It's like some kind of like a long, when you're walking for a long distance, basically.
Yeah, set out, going on a long walk, going on a long journey. He was on a long journey, you could say, right? And then hoti.
That's right, but he is the way it's formulated is like he is someone who is walking on a journey. So the patipanno is a past participle. Here it says nominative singular past participle noun.
That's right. So Mahākassapo is someone who is patipanno.
Exactly.
Mahākassapo is someone who is walking. That's why the nominative.
Exactly. And then the hoti
is that he is one who is walking.
Exactly. And the word patipanno here we find it in a very literal sense, like somebody who is literally walking, but more commonly, of course, in the sutta, this is the word that is used for like practicing well or practicing incorrectly is the same word. So somebody who's like walking on the path, figuratively, and it's from patipajati, patipada is the word that's used for path. Yeah.
You're literally and figuratively also walking the path. You're practicing the path.
And you see the patipanno, normally of course it's only one P, but when you join it, it's like a long compound word. Then often the P is doubled, so that's why there are 2 P's here.
Like Supatipanno.
Yeah.
But also Magga here is a path.
Path, Magga is the...
Or with age.
Yes, Magga, and Adhana Magga is a kind of a compound, just meaning like a long way, long road.
It's long path walking, long journey walking.
Yeah. So you could of course formulate it differently. You could say Ayasma Mahākassapo Adhana Maggam Patipajati or something like that. But in Pāli it's not done like that. That would be using just a normal regular verb. But here they say like hoti, he is one who is on the way, something like that.
Yeah, he is on the way. That would be the English idiom. So with a great assembly of bhikkhus, so Mahata, Bhikkhu Sangena. Sangena, you recognize the Gena, the instrumental, and Sadding is indeclinable, meaning with or together, and it always takes an instrumental, so with the big beat, the great, with a great assembly of bhikkhus, who are Panchamatehi Bhikkhu Satehi. So Sata is the 100, that's 100, and Panchamatehi is, he says, about 5.
Yes, so the way it is like Bhikkhu Sata is Sata means 100, so there are hundreds of bhikkhus, and how many? There are 5 of them, so there are Matta means something like the right amount, but here it just means just 5 bhikkhu hundreds, so there you get 500. And this Mahata Bhikkhu Sangena, so normally in the nominative it will be Maha Bhikkhu Sangho, the great bhikkhu community, but in the instrumental it means with, together with. Then Bhikkhu Sanghena, that's the ending for the instrumental, and Maha becomes Mahata, is also an instrumental form.
And then the Ehi is also instrumental there. So they are, this is all with, so the assembly, with an assembly, which is great, and the adjective takes the same declension, that's why it's also instrumental.
Exactly.
100 bhikkhus is also the assembly, so that those are also with that assembly.
Yes, so in a Pāli sentence all the kind of related words basically have to have the same ending, so this is all in the instrumental case. Okay, good, and now we can move. Maybe Venerable Tanyu, can you read from here?
Ataku ayasma Mahākassapu magga ukama anyatarasmi dukamule nisiri. So Ataku, so then ayasma venerable Mahākassapa stepped aside from the road.
So that's the ablative, so magga is normally with a short a, but here is from something, that's called the ablative. So he is coming off the road or from the road, so it becomes magga, the ending, this long ending indicates it's from the road. And okama is from okamati, is the verb, but here is like he has done it already, so it's called the absolutive form of the verb, okama. Okay.
So he sat down.
Okay, niside is the verb, right?
Yes. So ruka is tree mule. Ruka tree mule wood.
Yeah, ruka mule, and it's in the locative. The ending obviously is locative, means at a place, certain place. Okay, ruka mule. Yeah. And anyatarasmi
is certain
tree root.
Yeah.
So exactly certain so this would be anyatara rukhamula, in the nominative. If we just say a certain root of a tree would be anyatara rukhamula, but because he sits at a certain place, then in Pāli you have to put it in the locative case. So it will be anyatarasming, that ending is for locative, and rukhamule. And the thing in Pāli compounds is, if you have a compound of 2 or 3 words, you only put the locative ending at the very end. The previous, the rukha, it just stays as rukha. But the mula changed to mule, and then it becomes in that place, at the root of a tree. Okay. And niside is from nisidati. Nisidati, from the root same root, you can hear it sit, like in English, sit, and become, and ni is a prefix, so it's a nisidate, and here is the past tense, nisidi. He sat down. Okay, good. Now something easy, something similar.
Yes, thank you. I hope so. Tenako pana samayena anyataro ajivako Kusinārāya mandarava pupam gahetava havam adamanagapati panu hoti. Tenako is like up, then
Tenako Panasamayana. It's exactly like what we started with. I don't mention it twice. It's at the beginning there.
okay.
At that time, that occasion, that time.
Anyataro is a certain, yes.
Certain.
Certain. Ajivako Kusinārā is this is another people, right?
So exactly, a certain ajivaka. You know what ajivaka is? It says in the word an ajivaka ascetic. So is the follower of another sect.
Of another sect.
So they were the ajivaka sect.
Okay, then basically with the Mahākassapa there is also the other.
Well, no, it looks like he meets him on the road.
Okay.
And then what does he do? You can now skip to the end here actually,
Yes.
and you see the same word adhanamagapati padahoti.
Exactly.
So that's how you have to read the Pāli sentence. You always have to see, okay, what's the subject? The subject is this ajivaka.
Okay.
And now there can be all kinds of things in between, but what is he doing? The main thing. So hoti,
Hoti is the verb.
the verb.
Yes.
He is, and the same thing again. He is.
Quindi if he sit on the.
No. He's walking.
He's walking right.
On the path.
On the path, yes.
On the road.
Like up, basically.
Exactly. So he's doing the same thing. He's someone who walks, who is traveling on the long road. But now, where is he traveling from? So here.
Okay, Kusinārā. Okay, Kusinārāya.
So Kusinārāya, the ending is, the time is called Kusinārā, but it becomes from, so Kusinārāya. And what is he? But he has done something. Oh yeah, so he's traveling from Kusinārā to Pāva. That's this Pāvang, right? Pāvang.
Okay, it's another place.
Because you can see that Kusinārāya is from, the ending tells you that it's from.
Where you go, basically.
And Pāvang is in accusative, so that's always the place you're going is always in accusative case. So Pāvang, he's going to town called Pāva. And now what has he done?
Coral trees, right?
So he has
Flower.
Gahetava is we have this word, we saw it several times before. So he in the vocabulary you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from ganhati, means to grasp, to hold, to grasp, to hold. And what is he holding? He's holding the manda.
Flower, yes.
Yeah, mandarava pupa. Pupa is a flower, a normal word for flower, and mandarava is just the name of this coral tree.
It's like guirlands, something like that.
It's some special tree. It's described in the previous chapter that there was like the whole Kusinārā was like covered with these special trees, special flowers that normally don't appear in normal circumstances. So it would indicate something very unusual has happened. Okay. So Javiro, maybe we can.
Okay. The lines. Atta ko aizuma Mahākassapo tang ajivakang turato va agacchantang isvatang ajivakang etadavocha.
Okay.
Addasa.
Addasa.
Addasa. So from that would be like to see.
Exactly. Pasati, but actually it's it's like the word in say dasana, jnana dasana. You know that word, jnana dasana, to seeing, knowing and seeing. So that's related to that.
So
Adasa is a past tense.
Is it referred to the Jivaka?
No.
No.
The subject will be in the nominative case, so that you can see here Mahākassapo.
Okay. Quindi Venerabile Mahākassapa, why the verb is coming for before?
So sometime in a Pāli sentence that can happen. Yeah. So it doesn't matter because you can always tell what the verb is. You can put it anywhere you want. So in this case, you can start with it. So he saw.
Tang that Jivaka.
Exactly. So tang is accusative, right? Tang ajivakang. So that's the object. He saw the ajivaka. Okay.
Dura from the distance.
Dura tova.
From afar.
So dura means far, and durato is from afar. Is an ablative again. It means it's from something, and then eva, exactly. So the eva is sometimes added. It doesn't carry any particular meaning. It means something like just, or it just makes it flow better. So durato means from a distance.
Like in that moment, Venerable Mahākassapa saw that the Jivaka from the distance coming near.
Exactly. Agachantang. So it's from agachati to come towards us. And agachanta is ajivakang agachantang. You see, the endings of ajivaka and agachantang have to be the same. It's both accusative. So he is what? He is agachanta. Somebody, the ajivaka is agachanta, one who is coming. From agachati is the verb, but you make it into it's called present participle. Yeah, exactly. And okay.
Having saw him, having saw the Jivaka,
having seen him, yeah.
Spoke like this.
Etadavocha, yeah. He spoke like this. Having seen. It just says having seen, assuming the ajivaka, then he spoke to the ajivaka like this. Okay. And you can do the rest.
Okay. Apavuzo amhakang sattarang janasiti. Amavuzo janami ajjasatta hapariniputo samano gotamo tatome idang mantarava upang kahitanti.
Okay.
Bante.
Abuso.
Friend. Sorry, I'm confusing with Thai.
Yeah, exactly.
Friend
or venerable or something like that. Api abuso. Api is sometimes added as a kind of it's the beginning of a question. Can be beginning of a question. Yeah.
Yeah, apa. Okay.
And then
perhaps no.
Kam is the question.
No, so the verb. What is the verb here?
The verb janasi.
That's it. Janasi. So janati, he knows. Janasi, you know. Yeah? So janasi is the second person singular means you know. And but who do you know? Amhakang satharam. Satha.
Not sure.
Teacher. Satha deva manusanam. So that's this word satha, but it's in the accusative form. Then it becomes satharam. That teacher, and the teacher is amhakang.
Do you know
Our
teacher?
It's from mayang. It means we, but something that is ours is amhakang satarang. So the teacher is our teacher. So Mahākassapa is speaking for himself and all these 500 monks, obviously. Yeah. So it's a question. So it's actually, we put a question mark at the end. Of course, in Pāli there is no question mark. You have to figure out that it's a question. This indicates the ti is from iti, and it indicates the end of a direct speech. Yeah. But you have to know where the sentence begins, because again in Pāli there are no indications like the marks, the quotation marks. But it's obviously, it comes after etadavocha. So, friend, our teacher, do you know? Do you know our teacher? Or do you know about our teacher? Like what's happening with him? Okay.
Given the context that they probably know that the Buddha is going to attain Parinibbana at Kusinārā.
Exactly.
So they are anxious going, they are anxious on the way, what are the news, what has happened, so they ask this ascetic, do you know about him? Has anything happened?
Yeah, they see the flower, of course, and now I can do this. Ama avuso janami. So ama avuso, that means ama avuso, obviously. Ama, yes, friend. I know. Janami. Ajja sattaha parinibbuto samano gotamo. So this is interesting how it's formulated. So the Samana Gotama, that's the way the other ascetics would normally call him, Samano Gotamo, is today, Ajja, today, Sattaha Parinibbuto. He is 7 day extinguished, you could say. And if you wanted, you could add Hoti. If you Ajja Sattaha Parinibbuto Samano Gotamo Hoti, but the Hoti is dropped here, so you don't need it. So often in Pāli, the verb can actually be missing. You can just put these words one after another, and it has the same meaning. So that's how you have to read it. Today, Samana Gotama is Sattaha Parinibbuto. He is someone, who is 7 days Sattaha. Like when we have medicines, relinquishing medicines, it's called Sattaha. Medicines that are for 7 days, so it's 1 week. 7 day, Sattaha. And Parinibbuto he is literally fully extinguished. That means that was the word used, Parinibbana. Okay, and then Tato me idam mandaravapupam gahitanti. From there, Tato is from there, it's an ablative again, from there. Idam mandarava pupang, this mandarava flower, me is by me, gahitang, it's grasped, it's taken. It's just a matter of getting used to the syntax of the Pāli sentence. After a while, it'll become easy to read it, but it's just not like we would say it. They don't use the same, say, verbs. We use probably more verbs, but they have these past participles and things that you actually need the verb sometime in the normal form. Okay. And Ajahn Gambhira, maybe this.
I can continue until Vivattanti. Tatta ye te bhikkhu avitaraga appekacce paha pagvaya kandati chinnapādam vapatanti avattanti vivattanti. So those bhikkhus who are not removed passion, who are not free from passion, so tatta is there.
In that situation.
That's right. So we're talking now about the bhikkhus who are traveling with the Venerable Mahākassapa. They have just heard the news that the Blessed One has attained Parinibbana 7 days ago already. Like this is the first time they know that their teacher has passed away. And so those bhikkhus who are, so you have to notice that this is Vita Raga. So you recognize Raga is the passion. Vita is from or removed, and they are not removed passion. That's the construction.
And it's plural, so bhikkhu is a plural form, bhikkhu, and so therefore it's raga at the end. The long ending is because there's a plural. That's
right. The bhikkhus who are not freed from passions, they are appeccakke. They are, what's that?
Appeccakke.
Some of
it's
that's right. So ekacca is some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Ekacca. So some. some raising their arms, some were throwing their arms about, some were falling down, some were rolling on the ground, some were crying. So they were lamenting. They are.
Yeah, Baha is the arm, of course. Baha, they were doing something with the arms, whether it's exactly raising or I'm not sure. Some kind of something with their arms, crying.
Yeah, that's nice. So Pakvaya Kandati having raised their arms, Chinnapatang falling on the ground.
As if cut down like a tree.
Oh, cut down. Sorry, yeah, that's right. Cut down like cut down. Papatanti were rolling this way and that way.
That's it. Avatanti, vivatanti. So vatati is the verb, of course. It means to roll. You know, to roll like dhammachakang pavatati, or rolling, some kind of rolling. But here it has the prefix a, means avatati, rolling this way, or vivatati, rolling out that way. Okay. And can carry on.
Atikippang bhagava parinipputo, atikippang sugato parinipputo, atikippang chakkung loke antarahitoti. So atikippang is to do quickly. So kippang is this is ati. Kippang, too little, too small, too early. The Blessed One is extinguished. Atikippang, too early, the Sugata is extinguished. Too early, the I in the world,
yeah, it's disappeared. Antarahita. Maybe I don't have it here but it's this is the common way to say something has disappeared. So the chakkung loke, so the world has become blind. You know, that's the other way that it's sometimes expressed. So he was like the seeing one in the world, and now he's disappeared. Okay.
But sometimes they translate that as the seer of the world.
Exactly. So it's connected with that. You know, the idea that the Buddha is one who sees clearly, can see the whole world, and in some cases they also talk about like the world is blind. You know, so the Buddha is the one the seeing one. So yeah, so they are basically lamenting that too quickly they have lost the teacher. Also called Sugata, right? That like we chant Sugata. It's just different terms for the Buddha. Okay, and then we can carry on. Maybe I can carry on then. Ye panate bhikkhu vitaraga te sata sampajana adivasyanti anicca sankhara tam kutte talapati. So, but those, yete is always means, like yoso is in singular, the one who, and here is those who, pana means and or but those bhikkhu vitaraga, who are without passion, free from passion, vitaraga, with passion removed, without passion, they, sata sampajana, being mindful and clearly aware, sati sampajanya, then this is the adjectives, you know, they are sata and sampajana, it's plural at the end, the a ending, the long a means, so it refers to those bhikkhus. If it was one bhikkhu, then it would be so sato sampajano, but because it's plural, then it's te sata sampajana. Those bhikkhus are mindful and fully aware. Adivasyanti, adivasyanti means to tolerate something basically, or to endure, they can tolerate it. And now it's obviously that they are thinking with the thought. Anicca, sankhara, you know it from anicca, vata, sankhara. Vata means just is a kind of emphatic particle, doesn't have any meaning, indeed or something, but here it's just anicca, sankhara. All formations are impermanent. constructed, compounded things are impermanent. Tang kuteta labhati. So this is a phrase which means something like, to explain somewhere in the translation. How else could it be, What could be, yeah, exactly. What labha is from labhati, to gain, to get something. But how else could it be, it's just a phrase. Yeah. Okay, what else could we do? That's how it has to be. And now, so maybe Nathaniel, you can call.
Tinaku panasamayina subadu nama udapabajito tasam parisayam nisinohoti. So Tinaku pana at that time samayina subado, so it's some monk, I guess.
That's it.
Nama is his name.
His name, the one called Subhadra.
Udapabajito.
That's it.
So yeah, old age.
Yeah, so it's a compound, Buddha and Pabajita. So he is gone forth, literally Pabaja, and Pabajita means one who has gone forth. And Buddha means, it's from Vadhati, means to grow, literally to grow. But Buddha is the past tense, meaning one who has grown old. So Subhado, Buddha Pabajito, so this has the same ending, right? And then Tasang Parisayam, that's assembly. He was sitting in that assembly. He was sitting. So again, here it's expressed not as a verb, like you could say he is sitting, you would say he was sitting, but here it's expressed as with the hoti, he is someone who is nisino, that means sitting down. So nisino is this past participle again, from nisidati, the verb is nisidati, to sit down, but he is already seated. That's expressed as a nisino, he is someone who is sitting. And parisa, of course we know the word parisa is the assembly, means that group. And tassa parisayam, it's an accusative, the ang ending here. Tassa parisa becomes tassang parisayam. It indicates the place. Okay, and then maybe Javira.
Atako subhatto uddapabhajito te bhikkhu etadavocha. So Subhatta, the old monk, ordained monk.
Yes, Lungta Subhadra.
Subhadra here addressed the bhikkhu. They say this to the bhikkhu.
That's it. Those because he addressed.
Arang auzo ma sucitta ma paridevika samutta mayang tena mahasamanena.
Okay.
Enough, venerable. Masucitta, do not grieve, so not be sad. Sochati,
so we know Sochati is the verb to grieve, and we know it from the Soka Parideva Dukkha Domanasa. Soka is grief. So Sochati, and this is, but the way you express like a imperative, you have to say this, it's a kind of strange way to say it, but don't be sad, and ma sochita. So this is in the ending, ta is the plural, yes, this is aorist second person plural, so chitta, and that's why there is this ending ta. Okay, don't grieve, and then
they're putting emphasis on what he's saying.
And
so perhaps it's worth mentioning that positive sense is given in this. So like this is an instruction, like this is a prohibition, and that prohibition is expressed with the aorist.
Or it's like past tense, but it's in this case it's it's a kind
so
of.
where you have this ma something, don't do something, then this is expressed with the past tense.
Yeah, just the way.
It's as if in English you would say you shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, right.
Then that's the.
And the next one is paridevita.
Not lament.
It's the same paridevana, and we know paridevana. So from paridevati, lamenting or something. Don't lament.
So mutta. Oh, mutta is like mutti.
Exactly. So su and mutta.
Freed.
Yeah. So that's it. Like we are well freed. Su, if you add su, it sort of intensifies the verb. So mutta is from exactly. Muchati means to free, and vimutti and so on.
But actually, the su is from sutu, or
no. Su is always just something that is positive, or strengthening the meaning of the verb. So we are. Yeah, exactly. So sumutta and who mayang, that's we.
We were freed from the great samana.
So, and here it's expressed. How is it expressed? So we are well freed. Tena mahasamanena that's the instrumental case. Yeah. So that's how we express it in Pāli. You don't say from him, but you say we are freed somehow, like through him. Or it's hard to translate, but that's how it's. I have to say it.
Go ahead.
And let me see. Okay.
Upadutta ca voma idam vo kappati idam vo na kappati iti. So press upadutta is a compounded in some way?
No, but it I can't remember now the verb in norm of upa. But anyway, it's a past participle of this verb meaning oppressed, and homa.
Homa is a past of.
It's actually the present tense, we are, but it's used in this case. It means like we were, but literally, I mean he's speaking like the present tense. Okay, so we were oppressed.
We were oppressed. Kappati is the verb. So it's like if he was saying, like the Buddha was saying
exactly.
to us, in this way this way is allowable, this way is not allowable.
This thing, I think, is referring to some object, or maybe there's some food, or I don't know. This thing to you, vo, to you, kapati. This is how you have to say it. Something, is this word like kapia, kapia is something that is allowable. Kapiyang or kapiyakaraka is the person who makes things allowable, and the verb is kapati, something that is allowable basically. And idang vo nakapatiti, this for you is not allowable, right? Okay.
And to finish, idani panamayam yang achisama tankarisama yang na ichisama na tankarisama ti. This
Idani.
Now
Idani.
Now we
Now
can
but now we mayang
what we desire,
what we want and what we desire and we want,
and so we can that we can do.
That we can do, yeah. Yang tang is always yang ichisama tankarisama. I mean, it's expressed in the future tense. Ichhati is the verb, but ichisati would be in the future tense when it's in ichisama, meaning we will desire, and tang karisama is we will do. Karisate is the normal verb, to do, and karisama is we will do.
Sama, so we not desire.
What
we want.
What we will not desire. Like, what we will not want to do, that we will not do. Yeah, so basically we will do what we want and we will not do what we don't want. Okay, that's a nice phrase to learn. Not very suitable for monastics, but okay, and maybe you can.
Yes, attako esama Mahākassapo miku amantesi. And yes, basically then he replies.
Then the Mahākassapa amantesi means to address, to speak. So he's addressing the bhikkhus again.
Alam avuso ma socita ma paridevita nanu etam avuso bhagavata patikachewa akatam. And alam, I don't know.
Yeah. So alam, we had it there before. It means enough, like saying, like stop, enough.
Socita is up.
We had it there before again.
Exactly.
He's saying the same thing.
And
don't lament, don't grieve.
Okay, yes, paridevita, yes.
So he's saying basically the same thing as that old Lunta.
Exactly.
But now he has a different reason for it, right?
Okay, nanu etam.
Nanu etam.
So Bhagavata patika.
But nanu is like a kind of just a particle, just saying didn't he did not he do something, so didn't the, well, you have to translate it like this: did not the Buddha already tell us beforehand? But it's the way it's expressed is akhatang, so something is declared. It's from akhata. Akhata means to be declared, again past participle, something is declared. It's from akhayati. And what is declared, it is by the Blessed One, Bhagavata Akhatang. So it is declared by the Buddha. Bhagavata is instrumental, by him, and declared beforehand. Patikacheva is a kind of a indeclinable word, meaning beforehand. Okay, so and it's like a question saying, didn't he, or wasn't this already a friend said beforehand by the Buddha? And now is the phrase.
I already heard this phrase.
Of course, we chanted. Only not here in the monastery. We should chant it in Pāli, then you will remember it.
And then we told you a blessing, yes.
What does it mean? Sabbe, but we have slightly different formulations. So, okay, so sabbehi eva, I'm writing here, and the H, sabbeha eva, it has to be inserted so that you can, it just means, the eva doesn't really carry any meaning there, but it's just the way it's formulated. Sabbehi eva, piyehi, manapehi.
Manapehi is pleasing, then pricing, something like that.
Okay.
Separation, division, and change.
Alright. So, how do we translate this? So you have to know that this is again a typical Pāli sentence where you don't actually see the verb.
Exactly. I
so
found it different.
The verb normally could be at the end,
exactly.
Hoti. So you could put hoti here. So sabbehi, piyehi, manapehi, manabhava, vinabhava, hoti. Yeah. But you don't have to put it there. And then you just know that there is nana bhava. So nana meaning, nana means various, different, like in nanachar, the word nanachar in Thai is derived from this, Nana Jati, different birth, different people from, it means international in Thai. So Nana means various, is like the state, bhava, it means like the state of being something. So here is the state of being various or different, so, the state of being different. Vina bhava is the being without, being deprived of something. Vina means without. Yeah. The state of being without something.
Fit something into vijnana, no?
No.
Okay, it's not a complete.
No. And then anyata bhavo. In the chanting that we do, it just says anya bhavo. Anya means different. Different, or something that's transforming, changing. Here it's anyata bhavo. Anyata means again otherness, change. So again, it's the state of being different, being changed, being deprived of something. And where is it? It's sabbehi piyehi manapehi. And this is it means from all the things, you can fill in things that are dear and beloved. We have dear and beloved. And again, it's expressed in the instrumental case. Piyehi manapehi. It's a plural form, like those things that are dear and beloved.
Changeable.
Yes,
It's also
there will be
empty, changeable, and changeable.
Exactly. There will be change. There will be. In English, the translation runs: all that is mine, beloved and pleasing, will become otherwise, will become separated from me. So that's a kind of nice way of putting it in English.
Can in Thai ever be rendered as God?
So,
God.
Because
God is also not without a level.
exactly. And here we have the tam kuteta avusolabha. So that same phrase, how else could it be? What else could you get? The same phrase as before. And then again is this kind of reflection. Yantang jatang bhutang sankatang palokadhammang. So whatever, yantang, that which is born, come into being, constructed, formed, and palokadhamma, it means of the nature to break up. So it's this jatang, bhutang, sangatang is very often, all these terms are often put together, that which is born, become, come into being, constructed, put together. And then, but here is this one, exactly, palujati, from the word lujati, it means something like to break up, to fall apart.
So it's Paluka, it's kind of the same meaning as Veda.
Veda, exactly, and we will see later how it's defined in another sutta. It's a kind of play on words later. You will see that the Buddha kind of plays with the meaning a little bit here. So that which is like this, of the nature to fall apart, tang tathāgatasapi sarirang ma palujiti netang thanam vijatiti. So tang tathāgatasa sarirang, so that body, sarira is the body, but it's always referring to like a dead body. Sarira, in Pāli, it always refers to a corpse, sarira. And later, if you read the sutta, when after they cremate the Buddha's body, then they say all the muscles and sinews and liquid, everything like evaporated without leaving any trace, and only sarirani avasisanti means the relics were remaining. So then it's used in a plural and a meaning like relics, the things that remain after, some kind of bone relics. That's sarirani. That's the word is often used. Sarira is in singular the corpse, but sarirani plural means the relics. And here it is, Tathagatassa Sarirang. So the corpse, the body of the Tathagata, Tathagatassa, that's a genitive. The assa is always genitive. So that body of the Tathagata, ma palujiti, that it should not break up. Ma paluji, so should not. Ma is always like a prohibitive particle. Don't do something. And palujati, but here again, ma palujiti is that it would not break up. Ne tang tanam vijati. This is not possible. Again, this is a phrase that you have to learn. This state, this case, does not come up, is not seen, is not perceived, doesn't appear, and it just means it's not possible. Ne tang tanam vijati. This is not possible. So that the Buddha's body should.
Now refers to vijati.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now vijati tana.
Exactly. That case, that state, just doesn't occur, doesn't happen. Okay. So here we are, and there was a little note.
Yes, and so I wanted to mention the related suttas to this. Let me see if I can paste the text here, because the lujjati is relevant in the context of defining the world. Let's see if I can find this note and I'll paste it here at the end of the text. Now it's
a bit long.
not great formatting.
I could make it a bit smaller. Oh.
If you open the readings page, please, with your shared screen,
reading.
and I also put it in at the end of the notes for today. On a new tab, open the Pāli readings page, and at the end of today's notes we can see it.
On the right one. Pāli readings. Pāli Sutta readings.
Index. On the sidebar.
Yes. And here.
And then that's right. Then scroll down to the related. And so you see that where the world is defined, so the Buddha has this play on words sometimes to bring out the deeper meaning that he uses these terms with. Like rupa is rupati, that form is afflicted or deformed. Like here with world, the loko, he says, why is it called the world? Lujjati kopi kudasama lokoti vujjati. That it disintegrates because therefore it is called the world. Because so lujjati, loka, lokati, lujjati, kincha lujjati. So what is it that is disintegrating? Chakku kopi lujjati, rupa lujjati, chakku viññānam lujjati. So that the senses have this nature to disintegrate. And because the world that you experience is only the senses, therefore the world is disintegrating. It's a very meaningful connection here, which Venerable Katakurundañānanda also uses quite a lot to explain terms in other suttas, what is being meant, that you have to remember that we're talking about the loka, you have to remember the loka disintegrates, therefore so and so. Makes a lot of sense in many places. And then in the other sutta that uses this term lujjati is where somebody is, like this is a simile that the Buddha gives in the Nadi Sutta about somebody who is being carried by the river, and if they were to grab any kind of branch or grass or something along the way, then that would, they grab it, but it would break up, it would fall out, it would disintegrate. And so the Nassapurisu Sodina Guyamano Kasi Ji Ganheya, Ganhati, grabbing. Te Paluche, what is grabbed, it disintegrates. This is significant in how he uses this word, that it connects, what is grabbed, it disintegrates. And so what, in our experience, what is it that we are grabbing? We are grabbing the khandhas. And eva viva kuvika veya sutta pujjano rupam vedanam sanyam sankare vinyanam attano samanupassati dassatang rupam palvijjati. So whatever you grasp as the khandhas, that the Buddhajana takes as his own, but having grabbed it, it disintegrates. It tears away from him, and he comes to disaster. This is you can see the same. This is in reference to the last phrase that we read, that the body of the Tathagata disintegrates literally.
Yeah, this play on words, like the loka, there are other, it all comes from the commentaries. They like to, there is more plays on the words in the commentaries, and I think Ajahn Chah obviously must have read it. It would have been popularly used, I think, to explain like points of Dhamma. That's how often that's why the Buddha used it even in a sutta, as we can see here, but the commentaries do even more. So like there is this talk by Ajahn Chah where he says, loka, what does loka mean, the world? It means darkness. And then he says, it's because the opposite is aloka, and aloka means light. But a plus loka, so you kind of like a reverse engineering of the word aloka. When you say is the opposite of loka, and the world, it means darkness, the opposite is light. So he kind of turns it around like this and says, the world is a place of darkness. Yeah, there are many.
Yes, you have to recognize that somebody is doing this play on words in order to bring out a deeper connection that they want to highlight.
Yeah.
And so you sometimes have to recognize that somebody is doing serious linguistics on discussing the roots and how those are formed. And other times it's more like poetry.
Yeah.
And poetry is trying to tell you something about the experience, and so these loose connections between the forms of the words can be used to make meanings apparent.
Exactly. And here we have just the note on the Atami Puja. So if you read the sutta, if you go back to it, then you will see that this gave rise to, obviously like commemorating. They say that the Malas, the people in that place around Kusinārā, they 7 days they were like venerating the Buddha's body and doing some kind of ceremonies, and then on the 8th day they were trying to burn it on the funeral pyre, and then because it wouldn't burn, because the devas were waiting, trying to make them wait for Mahākassapa, and then as soon as Mahākassapa then arrives, and then finally he just bows to the feet of the Buddha, and then the funeral pyre is set alight and it burns up, and that's when these sariras are left behind. So in the Buddhist cultures, then they refer to the saririka dhatus. That means the relics, basically the elements of the dead body. And in some places, like in Thailand, they celebrate this Attami Puja, means the puja of the 8th day, on the 8th day, which would have been the last half moon, the last one pra here, last Uposatha that we had after Visakha. Yeah. And can you display those pictures that I sent you or not? You probably can.
You are sharing your screen, so
I don't have. So this is written in Thai, one Attami Bucha and one Tawai Praplang Buddha Sarira Kong Prabhupada Chao. So they commemorated, the Thai people, that's how I remember it. They post all these pictures, and this is the Kusinārā, the stupa in Kusinārā. If you go there in India, people walk, circumambulate it, and this is basically the main stupa there. A lot of pilgrims go there. This Buddha statue, that's not the stupa, this is just pasted over it. That's the reclining Buddha, which is in this kind of more modern building, which is not far from there, inside it. And then this is the bottom picture is actually a Gandhara carving. That's quite nice. So that's from somewhere, probably Pakistan or Afghanistan, showing these people preparing the funeral pyre, and maybe that's Mahākassapa or somebody, touching it, and then it's actually burning. And then here, this is a Thai traditional depiction of the disciples, and here is like the Buddha's body, but now it's a proper coffin, which originally they say they wrapped his body in many layers of some kind of special cloth, and all the cloths then burnt up without leaving ashes, and only the inner one and the outer one was preserved somehow. And you see the feet are still sticking out. And here,
the Thai tradition is to burn bodies in a coffin, and that's why that form is more recognizable.
Yeah.
Right. That's why that artwork presents it like that.
Exactly, and this is a more modern version. Of course, you see the devatas flying happily, and then this is more. Here again, the body is not wrapped in anything. It's probably AI generated, and another lovely cupids in the air. Oh, this is definitely generated with recent AI.
Yes.
And one more. Oh yeah, okay, this is the other more traditional. There is some monastery, it's in Nakhon Pathom near Bangkok. So yeah, they actually show they have all these like disciples and little figures. There it is.
In the foot outside.
Yeah, the foot outside for paying respect. But you see how they are sitting, the position. So these are quite old statues. So this was like in Burma until today. This is how the monks sit. What's called a ukutikang posture, and they do all Sangakama, Patimokkha in this posture. They are literally sitting down, which seems quite uncomfortable, but it was changed at some point.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yes, in Sri Lanka also.
I don't know how you can hold that for a Patimokkha, for example.
They do. I think they had better knees or something.
Yes.
Yeah. It was changed in Thailand.
So in Sri Lanka,
Mm-hmm.
in Sri Lanka, when we did confessions, then we would confess in this crouching posture.
Yeah.
But for the recitation, we would be sitting, I said Papyam, like Thai style, but other bhikkhus were sitting sometimes just cross-legged, meditating. So there wasn't a very strict form about how the people are sitting, and as long as people were holding Anjali in some form or another, then that seemed acceptable.
Oh, okay. This must have been changed maybe because of the Western influence in Thailand sometime, I would imagine in the 19th century, that they started doing the kneeling like we do now during the morning and evening chanting. That is not done in any other Theravada country, and the others find it strange, but I think that was adopted in Thailand at some point like that. Okay, well, that's it for today.
Thank you for listening.